All right. So today we are going to talk about the EC2 service. And before that, let me just go back to, excuse me, please. Yeah. So before I talk about the EC2 service, I will just let us have a little recap on the what we did previously. Right. So we've talked about AWS service, and we've got to know what AWS is, and then the various uh, offerings they have with regards to cloud computing. So talk of compute, talk of storage, talk of databases, talk of network, and then content delivery. So I mentioned that they have a very long list of services that they offer, and it actually doesn't end there because they are still AWS is still uh, innovating, right? So the service offerings that we even got to see the other time might uh, increase, right, with time. And then talk of compute, we spoke about EC2. Now, EC2 is one of the services that it's mostly mentioned, or in fact, you are going to hear about it every day when you are using AWS because it forms uh, part, or I say that it's one of the building blocks, all right, of the entire cloud computing. So what is EC2? EC2 is basically a computer in the cloud. All right, that is the most simplest form that I can actually define it. Right, EC2 is a computer in the cloud. So if we say a company's web server or application server or what have you, EC2 is the main thing that you go for. So it's the short form for the Elastic Compute Cloud, right? And that is the most popular compute offering in the AWS cloud. So what do you actually use the EC2 for? It's basically for servers, all right? So if you want to host your application server, if you want to host your database server, if you want to host your web server. So at the end of this lesson, I will take you through a practicals, right? A full session on how to host a website on an EC2 instance so that you get to also understand how it works, all right? It is also part of your it will also be a project assignment for you. All right, so I'll just take you through the practical. So it comes with some few features. One, it's a virtual machine. As I said, it's a computer in the cloud. So obviously, it's a virtual machine. That means that it is not for if you are using EC2, it is basically not. It is not a physical device that you are using, but you are using the device virtually or a computer virtually. And as part of your cloud journey, you would work with these servers a lot. Now, the reason why I took your email is that I have been able to secure a 1 month subscription on a platform called Code Cloud, right? So let me even share that with you. Let me share this and then show you. All right. So this is a platform I learn from. All right. I take most of my courses from there. So it's a premium, yeah, it's a steady platform for cloud, cloud enthusiasts. All right. So they have a lot of learning parts that you can take. So let me go back to so if you when you are enrolled on the site, all right, it's actually a monthly subscription, but I've secured, so after every month, this is their pricing, right? So they have the standard, they have the pro, and then they have for the business, right? So for business, you pay 28 USD monthly, and then the most popular one is the 30 USD per month, all right? But you pay the
Okay.
downside is that you pay yearly. Mhm. you have to pay yearly. So that is 30 times 12. So that's 360
Times
US.
12. Oh,
And then
wow.
for 15,
That's a lot of money.
yeah, a lot of money. And for the 15 USD per month, actually this is what you need, all right, for starters. Most of the courses that you take will be here. Yeah. You can also choose the pay monthly option, but it increases the bill.
Can I keep quiet?
It increases the bill because you have $35 per month. Right. And you can choose to cancel any time. So this means that if you subscribe and then you're able to complete a course in a month, then that is okay. You don't have to like subscribe every month. All right. You subscribe through, the period where you are learning. So as part of it, I actually have this 1 month subscription that I can extend to other people. So I'll add your email, all right, and then you can take some courses. So depending on the path that you want to take, but one course that I want you to take is this one, Linux. All right.
Linux.
Yeah. Because you have to like really know Linux uh, as part of cloud engineering. Okay. So this is the learning path. So you start from the basics, you learn scripting, and then you prepare for there's a Linux exams that you can take, a certification that you can take. But those ones, it's not that important. I mean, chasing certificates plenty. It doesn't do anything. The most needed thing is the skill, right? So you can take this course. So I will send your email, and then I mean you
Okay.
get access to the course. So I mean so that
So,
you get
like, when you're done setting me up, I can just start right away.
yeah, you can just start right away.
Okay.
Yeah, you can start right away. All right. So that was just by the way. So yes. The second one is its scalability. I think I've explained scalability at the time.
Yeah.
Yes, the fact that you are able to scale it up and down based on your demand, and it's also flexible. So in the essence that you are able to change whatever you want to change on it, all right, based on your demand or based on your preferences. Okay, and yes, it's secure. All right, it comes with some security features like key pairs. I will go into key pairs when you are doing the practicals. Like key pairs, you use what you call security groups. So security groups are firewalls, right? You are able to set rules to say that okay, I want to allow maybe traffic and maybe HTTP, HTTPS. That is if you have an SSL certificate, all right, or you want to allow HTTP. You want to allow certain type of traffic to come into your network. All right. You use security group to do that. And it's able to also integrate with other AWS services, stock of S3, stock of RDS, stock of Beanstalk, right? These are services that you can also attach or you can integrate with um EC2 instances depending on what you want to do. So an example is an RDS. All right. So if you have, let's say, a system, okay, you have a system where you have a database, all right, you want to have a database connected, then you can actually integrate the EC2 instance with that. So your web server will be on an EC2 instance, and then your database will be with what RDS, okay, so that your EC2 instance can save maybe user details, depending on the data that you are saving, can save the data in the database. If you want to retrieve it, the EC2 instance is able to also retrieve it from the database, all right.
Okay.
Yeah, and then it comes with some cost benefits in the essence that the most uh what's it called value proposition of AWS is that you don't pay anything upfront. All right, so there is no upfront fees for for using EC2 instance. You only pay for what you use, and then when you use it. So the features that it comes with also, comes as what as a benefit, right? The fact that it is flexible, you don't have like a fake stuff that you can use. You can change anything about it when you, all right, when you want to. Okay. and it's also reliable in the sense that, I mean, the main foundation or the main building blocks that powers the service doesn't go down. All right, it doesn't go off. So you are promised that it will always be on. Okay, and it's also secured. Now we get to instance types. Now, instance types are like processors. All right. In a normal computer, we say you have the CPU, you have the memory. All right. So in EC2, we have what you call instance type. Now, instance type now combines these two physical components into one. So the instance type that you choose comes with a CPU, and then it comes with what? A memory capacity. It comes with a CPU and a memory capacity. So you can choose a type of instance type, and then it will have like two CPUs. And since it's virtual, so it is called vCPUs, virtual CPUs. So it can have, let's say, two virtual CPUs, and then let's say an 8 GB RAM. All right. These are physical components that let me just open Google and then CPU. I hope you know what CPU is. Oh, So
Yeah,
this,
processing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So there's like a chip. So this is how a CPU looks like, and this is how a RAM looks like. So these physical components are what have been combined logically. All right. So when you choose an instance type, you get to have these two. All right. You have these two as one. All right. You have these two one for the instance type. So these instance types, we have the use cases for each of them. They are grouped into general purpose, compute optimized, memory optimized, storage optimized, accelerated computing, and then high performance computing. And they all have their use cases, all right, for that. I think that one there.
Okay.
Uh,
Sorry to interrupt. Now that you're on the CPU, let me just ask this. I've not really paid my attention, but you normally see that when you buy a machine,
yeah.
they tell them maybe it's an Intel Core i7 or Celeron, blah blah blah. Does it
Yeah.
have any effect on the how the machine runs or stuff?
Yes, it has effect.
But
So
not the Core i7, but the Intel or Celeron or this thing.
ah
Does it?
oh, those ones, they are the companies that makes them.
So
All
that's what
right.
I'm saying. Apart from the fact that with the course, I know that as the numbers go down, it increases the how well the machine runs. But as in the company brand, does it really matter when you are buying the machine?
Oh, so I personally don't like the Celeron chips because they are rare. Unless maybe recently they are like, you get what I'm trying to say. They are in abundance. But previously, if you were using a Celeron chip, it was hard for you to even get. Let's say you want to increase your CPU capacity. It was hard for you to get another one, like a Celeron chip.
Okay.
And it looks like they don't also integrate with Intel chips. Unlike Intel, that you can actually like change if you have a board with Intel that uses Intel chip, the probability of you um um what's it called, of getting another chip that will still work with the Intel board is higher than getting a chip that works with what, a Celeron board, unless it's a Celeron.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So that
yeah.
is the only stuff. Not like it talks about the quality or anything.
No, 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 no. I mean, I know people who have used who uses PCs with Celeron, right? And then it's okay. Like they haven't had any issues till now. But it's
Okay.
just that they are rare. They are rare in the market. So it's just like
Okay.
buying a car that is not common. Like so it's not easy for you to find parts of it.
Fine parts.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. 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 All right. That was just about it. I wanted to clarify that because
yeah. Oh, okay, that's okay.
yes, and I was wondering if it has any effect on this kind of stuff.
No, 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 it
It's
doesn't
kind of
have.
go on with this.
All right,
Oh,
yeah,
thank you.
yeah. So I mean, they all have their use cases. All right, and I think these are stuff that we can just for you to understand. But so when we look at, I want to look at so for accelerated computing like this, right? If you have a PC with accelerated computing instance, it's just like what we call, let's say we want somebody say, I want a gaming machine, right? He's purposely going to use the PC for gaming and then like high resolution games as well. So for those ones, you don't need a normal Core i7 and then all those things, right? There are CPUs that have been optimized for those use cases, right? And if you want a CPU type for, let's say, those of the people who do the graphic designs and then the video editing and then that stuff, right? These people also need a certain type of CPUs to help them do the work. You know, the usual Core i3, Core i5, Core i7 wouldn't cut it for the workload that they use because even the software that they use really, what's it called, even pulls, your CPU power. So all of these things, they are there for you. It's not something to like really, really memorize them. It's at least not even for the level that I am, because the information is always there for you to go and get them, depending on your workload. So if you want to, you have a type of workload, you can just go to the AWS website. I mean, the documentation is there, and then you can put in the workloads, whatever you are using it for, and then it's able to even recommend, a CPU type for you. And even if you don't know, right? For starters, you can just start with a general purpose. As you move on, you are able to change it on the same machine. You're able to change it as and when you want to realize that okay, the general purpose is not working for me. Let me just change it. Okay. As I said, it's not rigid. It's really flexible, so that you can modify anything about of it on it whenever you want to.
Okay.
Yeah. And there are purchasing options for EC2 instances. The main one is the on-demand instances. That is where you don't know your usage patterns, right? Yes, maybe you are using it for a web hosting. You want to use it to host a website, but maybe it's not a website that you would want to leave it on every time. Maybe you have downtime. So maybe in the evenings you turn it off. In the mornings you put it back on. In the evenings you turn it off. You put then a typical use case would be for on-demand instance. All right. You use an on-demand instance for a workload like that. So you are billed per on hourly basis. In fact, all of them is billed on hourly basis, but it's just that with on-demand, you don't have to even commit to a usage time, or you don't have to even pay for the times that you are not using it. And there is spot instances. So spot instances is just like the on demand, but the difference is that spot instances have more discounted price options, all right, than the on demand. On demand is actually not discounted, it's the regular hourly rate. But spot instance is like, okay, um, so just like you want to hire a bicycle, no, let me not put it that way. So there's an auction, all right? So there's an auction, and then you bid on how much you bid how much you would want to buy a certain product, okay? And you only get it if nobody is bidding higher than your amount. That is how spot instances work. So these are instances that are unused. They are like extra instances that are available for you to purchase. But those ones works on bidding or the auction type of thing. So let's say you want to, okay, I'll pay
So,
one. Yeah,
like
go
you
ahead.
said, it has to do with bidding. So, just to
Mhm,
clarify, suppose you are working, you have that particular instance, and then
mhm,
you did a bidding and then you got it.
mhm.
Does it mean that along the way, when somebody bids higher than you, they take it from you?
Yes.
At, whether if you are down with it or not,
Yeah,
with what you're
yes.
using it for.
Yes. I was even, I
Why?
mean, I was
Why was I'm looking at all the that can go wrong?
yeah. So you don't with sports instances, they are not for workloads that can't withstand interruptions, you know. So that is so at a point there is an available price. I mean, there is a price that is there, All right. So when you bid, you buy the instance at that price. All right. And then the price increases. The instance is taken off from you and you lose every data on it. So they are not for workloads that needs consistent like uptime, and then it is not something that you have to like it has to be a you have to keep your critical workloads on. All right, it's that like that's what's it called, that fast work thing. Maybe you need you need an instance to work with for 1 hour. All right, I mean for 1 hour there is enough. You can keep it for an hour. So for 1 hour, you just want to use it for something, and then you put it off. Okay. And that is what most of the fraud boys uses. Okay.
Most of the
Most of the
rich people.
the fraud boys, like most of the fraud boys use it.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Yes. So I mean they are advanced like that. So they can you can just go into the yes, you
We're
can
doing
just go
class. Okay, yeah.
yeah. I mean you can just go in there, all right? You can just go in there, provision an instance, use it for whatever you want to do. You close it. Nobody can trace it back to you.
Okay, now it's
Mhm.
beginning to make sense. Why
Ah,
somebody would go for that? Fine.
exactly. Immediately that instance is terminated. That is it. There is nothing to trace to the instance again. Because when you go in there and provision
But
another one, it's
have they gone that advanced? Wow.
share. They do it though.
Wow.
Yeah, but how is it that people are still not? I mean, people are still doing it and they are not being caught. Because the first thing
Oh,
to actually trace somebody is to trace their IP address to where they are actually like
drivers.
the machine they are working on. So if you are not able to trace the IP address to their location, then it will be difficult. So if not, they would have caught. I mean, there would have been a lot of arrests, but I mean, they are still in business. All right, and there is reserved instance. So reserved, scheduled, work the same way, but the difference is that for scheduled, you would want to put it on schedule. All right, you want to put it on schedule. Let's say you, how do I even put it? So you have like a website that you normally run. Let's say yearly promo. So every November, right? Every year November, you run a promo that will last for a year. All right. So let's say every 2 years, November, you have a promo that will last for a year. So maybe from November the current year to November the next year, and then the promo like expires till the next year, November, and then another. So you want to schedule a reserved instance. So with reserved instance, you have a predictable workload. You know that okay, I will need this. So for example, a website. If your website will have to be up for the whole year, then it is best or it makes economical sense for you to reserve an instance for that period. Now, what it means is that whether you use the instance for that during that period or you don't use, you still pay for it because you have reserved it for 1 year, and then you can reserve for either 1 year or 3 years. You can reserve for 2 years, so it's either 1 year or 3 years, and you can reserve for more. All right, it's either 3 years. The maximum is 3 years, and then the minimum is 1 year. So after 3 years or 1 year, and then you still want to reserve, then you pay for another 1 year or 3 years. So that's how reserved instances work. So if, for example, if you want to use it for a website, of course, a website should be on, or if it's an application, then the application should be on for more than a year, right? And then in the pricing options, you pay less when you reserve. They have a jargon or a slogan like that. Pay less when you reserve. All right. So you would want to reserve for workloads like that. And there is a dedicated instance. Now, let me explain the dedicated instance. With dedicated instances, what it means is that your instance that you are provisioning, okay, I've explained that the whole cloud thing is a virtualization layer. So AWS have the hardwares, they have the physical servers, and they've installed what you call hypervisors on them. That is what helps us to launch the virtual machines that are the EC2 that is the EC2 instances on them. Now, if you want a dedicated instance, all right, that means that your EC2 instance that you are launching, you would want it to be installed on a single server for you. All right. You wouldn't want to share it with anyone. So that one, you actually have to pay upfront. Okay. And then I think it's one of it's the expensive option amongst the purchasing options. Okay.
Is it any different from the what do you call it, the private cloud services?
Yeah, no, yes, this is also different from the private cloud thing. So this one you are still doing on cloud. All right. Let me see if I can do some drawing for you. So let's see, this is the physical hardware. All right. So on a normal, if you are launching an EC2 instance the normal way, a customer can launch their EC2 instance, then it will be part of just one portion of the same hardware, all right, on the virtualization layer. Another customers. Wow. Yeah, Maken, sorry. Yeah. EC, yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah,
It went
sorry.
off, so
Yeah, ECG took the light, so my Wi-Fi went off.
forgive.
All right, so let's move on. Yeah. So as I was saying, so on a normal, so this is a physical hardware. All right. Let me even use the same thing. And then there's the virtualization layer will be on it. So this is where your EC2 instances will be launched. So if you launch your instance, maybe to take like one portion, all right, another person launches their own, another person launches their own, another person launches their own, like that. So what is happening is that you are sharing the virtualization layer with what other users. All right. Now, if you go for the dedicated instance option, that means that this entire layer or virtualization layer will be dedicated to only you. All right. You wouldn't want to share with any other person. All right. So they dedicate all of this thing or all of this hardware to you or server to you alone, the physical one to you alone. Okay, that is a technology that works behind it. So this one is still in the cloud, but just that you have an entire server to yourself. You are not sharing a virtualization layer with any other user. So that is how it works.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So it's the same thing that goes into the pricing model. So for on demand, you are charged for each hour an instance is running. And then for the reserved, you pay for either 1 year or 3 years at a discounted price. And then the sports instance, you are charged for each hour the instance is running, but at a discounted price compared to the on-demand instances. And you can have up to, I think, 60 to 90% discount on the spot instances. So let's say if they are charging maybe $1, there's not up to $1 anyway, $1 per hour for an on-demand, you can be paying just about 10 cents for a sports instance. But the only downside is that you can't use it for a longer period because it can be, and they take it from you. I think it just with just 50 minutes notice or so, 50 minutes or 5 minutes notice, and then the instance is off. And then every data that you have saved on
So
it.
is there like instances, the sports instance,
Mhm.
these are ones that were being already being used by other people, and because they are done with it all, so to say, they try to kind of sell it out. Is it like sell these empty slots which are not being used out? Is that what they
Exactly.
do?
Exactly. Like it's like
Uh,
an excess, right? An excess, yeah, instance that they would want to, I mean, auction. Yeah, that's how it works.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes. And then for the dedicated, you pay at what? A premium price. Okay, so that one is actually not cheap. And there is instance groups, sorry, security groups. All right. As for this one, you are going to understand when we do the practicals, right? So it's like a firewall. The normal firewall, the firewall settings that we do on our PC to allow what kind of traffic that can come into your network or go out of your network. And there is key pairs. So key pairs are encrypted keys, right? We call it SSH keys or key pairs that you use to have a private connection with what your instances in the cloud. So you are able to have that connection between your local machine and then your virtual machines in the cloud. So that key needs to be stored on your local machine. You need that key to actually, do that connection. So SSH is secure shell. All right. It's a secure shell. So that would be that. For tags is just a way to organize your instance. So you can tag your instances by name, whatever metric or whatever way you would want to tag it. All right. So let's say you are the IT manager or you are the cloud engineer. Let me put it that way for a company. Okay. And then you have, let's say, about 10 servers, but these servers belongs to different departments in your company. So aside their usual name, you can also tag them by department, and you can even tag them by what is it called? Their purpose. Okay. So you can have as many tags as you want. There is a limit to do, but you can have, I think, about up to 500 or so tags per resource or per instance. Okay. And then the storage options, we have instant store. So instant store, just like the sports instances. Instant store is a temporal storage that you attach to your EC2 instance. What it means is that when you restart your instance, let's say you attach an instant store volume, all right, and you attach it to an instance. When you restart the instance, every data that it has saved on it earlier will be lost. Okay, so you can have a normal on-demand, not even a spot instance, an on-demand instance, and then you have a storage volume, right? An instant store volume attached to it. What it means is that when you turn off, and then let's say you save your pictures or anything of that sort on it, when you turn off the instance and then you turn it back on, the data that it has stored on it earlier will be off, will be gone. All right, so there's another name. Let me add it, called ephemeral. Mm, ephemeral storage. That is the name. So we call it ephemeral storage. It doesn't permanently store data. And there is EBS. So EBS is the main thing. It's just like the hard disk of your computer. I think when I was talking about the storage services for AWS, I spoke about EBS. So it is used as a root volume.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is used as a root volume, and then also you can add additional volume to your instance. And there is elastic file system. I
So,
think
is it comparable to RAM?
no. So
The first one,
no. So
instant store.
RAM is like a memory. All right. RAM is
Okay.
like, yes, that's a RAM chip that I showed you. But EBS is like your
Yeah.
hard disk.
I mean, like the instant store.
Yes, no. So
On this
instance of
kind of on the
no. So
operational
the
level, since
no.
instant
The
system.
Yeah, the instance store is also like the hard disk, but just that it doesn't save data. All right, when power is lost. So it's just like, yes, it works like the RAM, but it is not a RAM. It's actually like a storage. So let's say a pen drive that
Works
cannot,
like a RAM.
yes, a pen drive that cannot hold data. All right. It can only hold data when it is connected to
Okay.
a machine. So let's say you put a pen drive in your machine, you store, let's say, music or pictures on it. All right. But immediately you disconnect it from the machine, the data on it will be lost.
Okay.
So when you put it back in, it's like an empty uh, storage device. So instant store is actually a hard drive or like a storage, but just that it doesn't hold data when power is lost. So yes, the technology behind it is
Okay.
just like how the RAM works.
Okay. Okay. I guess it.
Yeah, sure. So, and then there is EFS. I also explained EFS as a network file system, all right, where I used whole corporate setting. For example, when you have, sorry, I think I opened something. Yeah. All right. So you have finance, you have payroll, HR department, you have the IT department. Okay. And then we want one central storage for them. So those ones you don't attach them to the instance. It stays on the network, and then now you set up what mount point to store data in the same what storage. So that one, even if this instance is off, you still have it here because the block storage is attached to the instance. All right. So if you terminate the instance, it goes away with its data. But with this kind of storage, the data still stays, even if the instance is terminated or deleted. All right. So we also call it NFS. All right, network file system. So let me just
Yeah, I
add this.
remember this was part of the last lesson we had.
Yeah, also called network file system, NFS. All right, file system that can be mounted to multiple instances. Yes, and then the network options, yes, you launch an EC2 instance into your VPC, that is your virtual private cloud, right? An isolated portion of the entire AWS cloud. And then you put it in what we call a subnet. So a subnet is just uh, a division or smaller chunks of the bigger network. All right. So the same thing in the corporate setting. When you have the corporate setting, the entire company is a network on its own. All right. Now, when you get in there are several departments. So we'll get into the networking concept so that you get to understand in VPC. There are several departments in the company. So all together will form what your bigger network. So all these instances, you launch the instance in what? In a subnets. All right. So there are subnetworks within a VPC that can be used to organize your instances. And then for Route 53, it's a DNS service. So that is if you are using it for a website, all right, you wouldn't want to just expose the IP address for people to visit it. You want to add a name. All right. So maybe mywebsite.com. And then you now direct it to the IP address of that server. So you use Route 53 for that purpose. There are other tools that you can also use to monitor the performance of your instances because, I mean, you can't always be sitting by the computer watching your server. All right. So you use two services, CloudWatch and then CloudTrail to monitor. So CloudWatch is for monitoring the performance of your instance. So the memory usage, the CPU usage. You can use CloudWatch to actually set alerts, all right, on your instances to say that, okay, if my CPU usage goes to, let's say, 80% or 90%, kindly alert me. All right. So that you can also take actions. Maybe you would want to add another instance or you want to even increase the instance size. And then for CloudTrail, it's for logging. So it helps you track who is doing what, on your instances. And then some best practices while using EC2 instances. Use IAM roles. Make sure that we also get into IAM, identity and access management in the AWS cloud. All right. So make sure you use permissions to, control who can do what on your instances. You use security groups to control traffic, and then use keepers to securely connect to the instances. And then, as a best practice, to use tags to organize and then categorize their instances. And then for monitoring and then troubleshooting, use
The
CloudWatch.
key
And
first, them man, though it's cloud, but you still need that local machine, right?
yes, you still
So
need
like I said,
those that security token to be able to have that secure connection.
okay, all right,
All right. Okay. So yes, I added some steps on how to create an EC2 instance for web hosting. So I will take you through so that you can maybe refer that and use that for the project. All right.
okay.
Yeah. So to create the AWS account, I've added a link here. You can just follow uh and then create your AWS account so that you can have access to the console like this. Okay. So on the console, so I'm just coming to show you how websites are hosted. Mm. All right. So on the console, we create an EC2 instance. So you go to the EC2
That
instance
link
settings.
will bring me.
No, so that link will send you to, let me just open it. So when you click on this, it will open. It will send you to a documentation that takes you through how to create an AWS account for access to the management console, right? So how to create the verification process and everything is actually like a long thing you have to follow. Go to next, go to next, go to next. If that is why. So when you look at it, it's just as a step-by-step instructions on how to do it. So after you have created your account, it is going to lead you here, this homepage,
Okay,
like this. But you may not have this view, especially I mean for this, because it might be new. All right. So you will not have these. So if you want to open the EC2 service, you can come to the search bar here and then just search for EC2 and then to open the EC2 service. All right, for you. And then you are going to have this. So on the EC2 console, you click on launch instance. Okay, and then we'll just name it first web server. Okay. So I spoke about tags, right? So you can have an additional tag
yeah,
and then add a new tag. You say, let me say purpose and then test. Okay. I'll add another one. I'll say owner. And I'll say Isaac. Right. So you can have like, okay, yes, you can have up to 50 tags. All right, per resource. So as you can see, I've
later.
added 3 tags and I'm left with what? 47 more tags. Yeah. For the operating system, you can choose between
Okay,
Amazon Linux, you can choose Ubuntu, you can choose Windows. Maybe in our next class, we'll provision a Windows instance for you to see how it works. Because I mean, you will relate to that one
okay,
better. Yes, but I mean, for cloud computing per se, you are mostly going to work with Linux servers. All right. So you also need to study Linux. So I'll choose the operating system that is Ubuntu. That's a Linux operating system. And then there's a key pair. All right. So you can use key pair to securely connect to your instance. All right. So I have some key pairs that I use, but I'll just create a new one so that you also get. So you click on create new key pair. You can give it a name that you want. So I'll say web server. All right. KP. So I'll add KP. And then always choose this option. All right. RSA and then dot PEM. Okay. The dot pip with dot ppk, you need a third-party software called 40. All right. And the procedure to actually connect that is kind of long. So for the .pem is straightforward. So you can just use that. All right. And then you click on create. Immediately you click on create, it is automatically going to, open the save as. For Chrome, it will not open it, will just save it for you. So click on save, and then it will automatically download to your PC. Okay. So for networking, we'll not go there. I'll leave it as it is. When we get into the networking session and I explain VPCs and then subnets to you, then we'll launch another EC2 instance. Then now go into the details of this one. But the focus is on security group. So for security group, as you can see here, there's what? Allow SSH traffic. All right. And then it's from what? Anywhere. Okay. I chose to create a new security group. I can also select an existing one, but let's just choose the option of creating a new security group. So I am allowing SSH traffic. That is what is going to allow me to connect to this EC2 instance from my local machine. Okay. And because I am going to use it to host a website, I have to also allow HTTP traffic because currently I don't have SSL certificate. All right. So I have to also allow
Okay.
HTTP traffic from the internet. If not, people cannot access my web server. We'll actually practice this, or we'll test this and see. All right. Then when that is done, that is basically about it. Okay, I'll leave it. There are other things here, advanced details, but I will also leave that one for another session. But we'll not go there. This is basically the basic building blocks that we need to launch our instance. And then the instance type, this is it. All right. So we can see and when you create your account, you have 12 months free usage for some of the services. And then EC2 instance is part of it. They call it free tier. All right. You have 750 hours per month for 12 months. So you can actually use it to do your practice. Right. So this is the instance
Okay.
type. So if I choose T2 micro, you can see I have what? One virtual CPU that comes with what? 1 GB memory, and is what? A current generation. And this is the pricing. So if not for free tier, this is how much they are going to charge me. So I'm using a Linux operating system. So I'll be charged 0.00. It's not even up to 1 cent, all right? 0.001 USD per hour. All right. And there are other ones, there are bigger ones. There are bigger ones. T2 large, T2 extra large. There's T3. It goes up to like the ones that comes with crazy, as you can see this one have 8 vCPUs, 32 GB memory. All right, and this one, see, this one has 192 vCPUs,
Wow.
and then 768 uh gigabyte.
Memory.
Yes. So I mean that is how it is. Like it's crazy. You can actually do everything. Yeah. I mean Netflix whole system is on AWS cloud. So you can imagine the offerings that they have. So
Wow. Okay, excellent.
yeah, so depending on what you want to, but we will stick with the T2. All right. What we are using for is like a basic stuff.
Yeah, eligible is like, and when you open it, is there. There you fit in like that.
Yes, yes,
Then you choose
yeah.
that one.
Yes, as you can see, it's there. When you are actually creating it for the first time, that is the option it will choose for you. Unless you need a different one, then you go and choose.
Okay.
All right, so I'll just click on launch instance and I wait for it to be ready. All right. So on this page, you just scroll down and then you click on view all instances. And this is the instance that we launched. All right. So it is initializing. We need to wait for it to have 2 out of 2 status checks. And then now it's just like when you boot your computer for the first time. You have to actually wait for it to.
So in line with real world, just to make sure that I know of this one, you said you're doing it because you want to launch a website,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So was it like, let's say let's say my company and I want you to like have this cloud thing for me, then you host my website. Is that the idea? Just to make sure that I get it.
Yes, exactly. So it's EC2 instance. Hosting a website is just one of the things that you want to use EC2 instance for. All right. It's just one of the things. The applications like the Bolt app that we use, a Jumia app. In fact, every application that you are using is hosted on a server. You get
Okay.
it? It's
Yeah.
hosted on a server, and then this is actually what it's used for. All right, they use EC2 instance. There are other options that you can use. There is Lambda. I spoke about where you can just upload your code and then you deploy. All right. There is
Yeah.
Beanstalk
Yeah.
that can do everything for you, but the underlying infrastructure is the server, is the EC2 instance. So basically, most of the time when you are working for a company, all right, these are the things that you are going to manage. You understand? You log in into the instance. So I will connect to it and then you see uh, uh most of what you can do. All right. And with this, you can host like as many websites as you want on one machine. So this whole web hosting thing, that is how it works. They have one computer, all right. Basically, the specs are higher than this. And then when you so I hope you've heard have you about GoDaddy before? Your mic is muted, oh? Yeah, Michael, sorry. This network will stress me today. Mhm. Yeah. Have you heard of GoDaddy?
Good.
Yeah,
Sounds
GoDaddy.
familiar, but I can't really
Yeah,
put
so
my
they
phone
are
on.
they are a web hosting platform. All right. So most of the times, what happens is that they have the machine somewhere, and then you want to host your website. All right. So they give you just like what you are doing here. They have the instance there. So what happens is they just put your website on the server for you. All right. Now GoDaddy will be cheaper than you using the EC2 instance, especially if it's just one website. All right. So there are a lot of people, even in Ghana here, that does that. Okay, they do web hosting for people. So they have an instance in the cloud. So if you want to host your website, they charge you some money. They put it on their EC2 instance for you, and you can host multiple
So
websites.
I create, let's say I want a website for whatever thing I'm doing.
Uh-huh.
I get somebody to design a website for me.
Yes.
Then, in order to get it on the web, I have to get somebody to host it. That is
Host
where
it.
we are looking at something like what we are looking at right now.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly. So these are the services that are offered by GoDaddy, DreamHost, Hostinga, Bluehost, a lot of them. All right. That's what they do. All right. So I think
But
by
you
now.
creating it equally means that you can host somebody's website.
Yes, so at this moment, but this will not be cost effective as if it is just one person's website. Because the amount you pay, all right, you pay more than how much the person might not even be able to pay, because in a year, is it in a year? This will cost you about 400 or 200 USD. That is if the instance is on, all right, for the entire year. It will cost you about 400 or 246 USD. You get it. Meanwhile,
Okay.
yeah, when you are using,
Okay.
because the other providers are benefiting what we call economies of scale. Okay, so uh, if let's say I have 10 clients, then I can go for this option. You understand? If I have 10 clients, I can just host an
Okay.
instance like this and then put the website on them, on it, because I have 10 people.
All of them, you have their own individual.
No, I can put all the 10 websites on one EC2 instance like this.
Oh, okay.
It's just a matter of just changing configuration files to direct each uh, host name, all right, or website's name to their directory. You get it? Uh-huh. That one is a different
Okay.
tech. It is a different technology altogether. There is a file, a configuration file. All right. So the file name, okay, I'll just demonstrate that for you. But that one is also for, that I mean, IT. There is a lot of roles in IT. We call them hosting managers. All right. They do all of these things. Uh-huh. You can set up like multiple websites on one uh EC2 instance like this. All right.
All right.
So yeah, the server is up. So what I need to connect to the server is the public IP address, this one. All right. Now let's go to the security group. Let me show you what is there first. So this is a security group will attach to the instance. Good. So the inbound rules, for outbound rules, they are automatically allowed. All traffic, every kind of traffic is allowed. But for the inbound, you have to set it yourself. So I'm allowing what? Secure shell connection, that is SSH. All right. And then SSH by default works on
Okay.
port 22. And then HTTP by default works on port 80. HTTPS by default works on port 443. All right.
So if you made a statement, correct me if I'm wrong, that you are not using the HTTPS because you don't have the, what do you call it, the
SSL,
license, right?
SSL
Is it
certificate. Yes,
certificate?
yes. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
And
Okay. So
so,
what is the implication of like these two if you don't have the other one?
and then it means your website is not secure. Like anybody at all can just sniff uh traffic. All right. That goes in and out of your website. So it means that people can actually attack your server and steal people's data. You understand? So
Okay.
so just
Okay.
like Facebook, right? Facebook, the people who do Facebook ads and any other website. So let's say e-commerce website. Maybe you are using your Momo, you use your credit card information to buy stuff from there. All this data is saved on the web server. So it's the SSL certificate that encrypts it. So encrypt is just like protecting it. All right. So
Okay.
let me do something here for you to quickly see. You might not understand, but let me just do it. So I've opened another window. I hope you can see that.
I can see.
Yeah. So if I do this, okay, so I print this is a text. All right. What I'm basically doing is I'm trying to print, all right, this text onto the screen. All right. Now,
Okay.
if I do this and I say base 64, this is the same thing that has been what encrypted as this. All right, this text. This is a text.
Those random stuff.
Aha. So
Okay.
normally when you go to the internet, I have a friend that I communicate like that with on Facebook. So he will post something, I'll come and comment like this. He will know what it is. He just have to take the text and then so here I'll just do this. Okay, I'll copy the same text like this and then do this and then paste the text here. All right, and then I do base 64 and then D. So D means what? Decrypt it. All right. Then as you can see, so this same thing. All right. This is a text. So this is what the SSL certificate does. So if you enter your credit card details and everything, those things are saved on the server. But then the encryption feature there with the SSL certificate will change the whole thing to some random text. So that even if somebody is able to steal the data, they are not able to what? Because this one I'm encrypting it in base 64. All right. There's different encryption algorithms. So first, whoever steals the data will not even know the algorithm used to what encrypt the data. So it'll be difficult for them to.
Okay, so doesn't show like if I'm trying to follow small. So even when the person copies, doesn't get to see more or less like the base in which this thing was done.
Yes. So
If I'm right.
for this one like this, all right, if I send it to anybody, I have to actually tell the person the encryption algorithm I used before they are able to convert this. I mean, if
Oh,
I send you this one will not make sense, isn't it?
clearly.
So I have to tell the person that, oh, I use B64. There are other ones. There's SHA, the SHA-256. There is RSA 2048. There are a lot of encryption algorithms. Even with the keeper uses RSA. All right. RSA 248 bit. And then there's the base. There's base 64. They work in bits. So base 64, base 128, base 2408, and then what have you. All right. Uh-huh. So basically, if you have the
Well,
SSL
now
certificate,
I
go ahead.
forgive me for continuing, but something is making sense. I'm playing Watchdog,
Okay.
and there's a portion of it where they needed a particular file. They copied from somebody, and they said they had to go and find the person who wrote it
Mm-hmm.
to decrypt it. I didn't understand, and these are very good IT people, at least from the game stuff. But they
Uh-huh.
still had to go and look for that particular person
Yes,
to
exactly.
come and decrypt. As
Yeah.
as you explain that, until you give the tell the person that's in base this or base that, the person cannot
Uh-huh.
do it. Now it is
Ex-
making sense. I
exactly.
just played it, but now I'm beginning to understand why they had to look for that particular person.
Exactly. I mean, those games and then those movies. I mean, I get to learn. One of the movies that I enjoyed watching was Money Money Heist. All right. Even though
Nice.
those
Yeah.
yes, those things are staged, but the terms that they mention in them like real life IT
Oh,
stuff.
real.
Real life IT stuff. That
Okay.
yeah. So you get to actually learn when you watch these kind of movies. All right. It was Money High that I actually learned how to, I mean, how this telephone communication works. All right. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. So the security feature in SSL certificates, allows your server and then whoever the client that is accessing the machine to have this kind of
and
encrypted.
this you buy, you have to buy from another source.
The
A certificate, I mean.
Yeah, you don't buy. They issue it for you for free. There are people we call certificate authority. All right. So when you create a domain,
Okay.
they will issue you an SSL certificate for you to use. They call them
Okay, so
certificate
with
of
this EC2 instance that you say you don't have security, that's not now. That means that you can just get the security. It's not like any complex stuff.
yeah. I mean, so for me
Okay.
to allow HTTPS traffic, what I would do is that if I have a domain name, all right, then and when I'm connecting that domain, so because the SSL certificate actually is on the domain and not the instance itself. All right, you attach the
Okay.
certificate to the domain. So if I am using this for like a real website, then I will set up what we call DNS rules, all right, to point to this instance, as my website. But since I have an SSL certificate on my domain, then I will come and even disable this, and then I'll allow HTTPS traffic. And then I'll set that DNS settings. Then my website is automatically protected with the SSL certificate. So you don't even apply SSL certificate on the instance; it's on the domain.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
All right. So now let me open this one again. So as I said, if I want to connect to my instance, I will need this first, the IP address. Yeah, okay, the public IP address. So I'll copy this,
Mhm.
right? And let me make this bigger. This is the command to connect to a server online, all right? So any server at all. So if your operating system is a Linux operating system, I can connect to it, all right, when I have a key pair, or there is something called authorized key. So in your PC, I can do this RSA. No, I'll do SSH key gen, and then I'll do RSA 2048. Is it correct? So SSH key gen. Let me just run it like this. 2048. Yeah. So I just have to run it this way. So if the name, if I do test, all right, no paraphrase. Oh, permission denied. Let me just leave it. So I can generate a key, all right, on my local machine. And then you will have to copy that. If I copy that and send it to you, and then you attach it, there's a configuration file called authorized keys. If you put that key in your machine, I should be able to connect. So basically, when I created the key pair, that was what was done. All right. That key was copied into
Okay.
the instance for me to for so that if anybody have that key, then they can use it to what connect to the machine. All right. So if I copy this keeper that I downloaded, if I send it to you, you can also connect to the same EC2 instance. All right. Now
Oh,
to
okay.
do that secure connection, first let me just do this and then so these are Linux commands. So CD is for change directory. All right. So I'm saying that currently I am in this root or home directory. So I'm changing directory to my downloads folder. All right. It's just like me coming here like this, opening this window and then clicking on downloads. All right, to come here. So currently I am in this
Okay.
download directory. All right. If I do ls, I have a lot of files here. Do if I do ls, as you can see, so ls is for list files. All right. As you can see, every file that I had here, you see. So these
In the
CSV
download.
files, in my downloads is the same I'm seeing here, but I'll just see them as mere names. The ones that are folders, the colors are different. And then if it's an executable file, the color is also different. All right. So I'm interested in this one, the web server KP. So because that is the keeper I use to create my instance, isn't it?
Okay.
So to do the connection, I will do SSH and then the username. If you create an Ubuntu instance, the default username is Ubuntu. All right. So the username and then at. So this is the location. All right. This is the identity of the computer you are connecting to, the server. All right. So I'll
Okay.
copy this. That's the IP address. So I'm saying that do a secure shell connection. All right. to this user on this computer. All right. Now I'll have to assign
Okay.
an identity file. All right. An identity file. So I'll do -I. And it was that identity file, the web server keeper.
Okay.
And when you are naming your file in Linux, or let me not say, excuse me. So in tech, all right, when you are naming your files, don't name files with spaces. All right. When you are naming your files, don't name them with spaces. So let's say if you want to name a file like my folder, all right, don't do it this way. The reason is that sometimes when you want to use these files, it causes like a lot of problems, right, with spaces, because Linux reads this one as a separate thing, and then it also reads this one as a separate thing. So normally, if it is a one file, you have to put it in what quotation marks, and then it sometimes makes your
Okay.
commands like complicated. So to avoid that, I can just name this as my folder. All right, you use the snake case, or you can just do my underscore folder or my dash folder. All right, with this, it will be able to be read as what one thing. Okay, that is why you saw me in there. So most of the times you see stuff like this, or web dash server, that's like a lot of them. So when you look at the EC2 instance server, that's how I I named it, as you can see, you know. So that is one security
Okay.
in tech. This has actually like disqualified somebody from a job.
Really?
Yeah. So they were doing their functional test. Okay, he was doing a functional test, and then in saving the files, he just added spaces. That was it. That was his disqualification. For somebody who was boasting
Oh,
of, I mean, of years of experience, for you to make that simple mistakes, it shows that you are probably lying to them. I mean, that's how these white folks work. All right. Because there are things that they feel like, okay, with a certain year of experience, you shouldn't be doing mistakes as a
some
beginner.
of these.
Uh, he lost a job just
Yeah,
because
they
of
should take it on us. So then some of us just then you don't even start
it.
before the disqualify. They should take it easy.
Mm.
I know.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on. So this is the command to connect, all right, have a secure connection to your EC2 instances. So if I press enter, it is going to ask me. So you see here it's telling me, so this is the key. This is what the key is, encrypted with what the SHA-25 with SHA-256 algorithm. Okay.
Okay.
So it is asking me if I guarantee the authenticity of this, and then if I want to continue with what the connection. So I'll just type yes, and then I am now connected to the EC2 instance. All right. So
It said permanently added. Doesn't mean that you cannot remove.
yeah. So now that it has been added, it means that next time I'm connecting, I wouldn't be asked that question again. So let me exit. When I want to disconnect, I just have to do exit.
Okay. But you can remove the that particular.
Yes, I can actually remove it. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I can remove it. So this one has been saved as the one of the authorized keys on my local machine. So there's a directory that I can go and then delete it. So if I delete, next time I'm connecting, I'll be asked the same question again if I want to permanently add the key. All right. So now that
Oh,
I've added,
okay.
I'll enter the same command again. And if I press enter, you can see this time it shouldn't ask me for anything. It will just straightforward connect. Okay, the connection reset by peer. Okay, let me connect again. Yeah. I changed my Wi-Fi connection. Yeah, good. Okay, so now I am connected to the instance. So currently, I am not on my local machine again. This is the server in the cloud. Okay, this is not this. So this interface I'm seeing. Let me clear this. All right. So if I do ls, as you can see, there's nothing here. There's no file here. Okay, and there's nothing like downloads or anything. So this is the Ubuntu server.
Mhm.
This is the EC2 instance. This is not my local machine. All right. So uh
Oh,
how do we store or how do we use it for web hosting? This is what we are going to go through. Okay. So first, you need a service, or let me say a software that allows web hosting.
the network.
Is it okay now?
Yes, okay now.
Okay, okay. Sorry. The I'm using the mobile internet, so it's really messed up. Yeah. So you need a service or let's say a software that will allow you to do a web hosting because aside that this is just a normal computer, all right, a normal Linux or uh, Ubuntu computer, all right. So first I need a service. The service is called Nginx. So Nginx is a web server, all right. And let me do this. So what is Nginx? Okay. So it's a web server that can be used as what? Forget about the reserve proxy and then all those things. All right. But that is what actually allows you to host what we call a website. All right. On there. So let's first do this. If I copy this address and then I paste it here. Okay, and press enter. I'm basically not going to see anything. Okay. You see, there's nothing. It can't be reached. All right, because there's nothing on it. But now let me install the web server. So there's something we call package manager in Linux. All right, just like your Play Store on your phone. Linux has what you call package manager. That's what you use to install softwares. All right. Unlike the Windows where you have to go to the website, download it, and then all those things. Here, you can just use the package manager because the package manager has what we call a repo. So it has a repo of links to the application that you have to install. So it has links to those applications, just like how your Play Store works. All right. So Play Store is
Okay.
just has links to where these servers, these applications have been hosted. So if you want to download Bolt, all right, Bolt has its own repo. So when you go to Play Store and search for Bolt, the Play Store application goes to that server that has the application and then install it for you. So the application manager in Linux also is the same thing, has links to those what's it called, those servers. All right. So obviously, if I do this, mm, if I just do download Nginx, all right. No, let me do good. Let me just do this. Download Nginx. So normally I will have to come here like this and then come and select this, all right, for you to download, and then I will now come and what install. But by entering just one command behind the hood, all of this will be done for me, and then my application will be installed for me. All right. So, and then for you to install softwares, you have to use an administrator privileges. And then the administrator privilege or the administrator in Linux is called sudo. SU. That is a super user. All right. And then do is just saying that super user do. All right. So I'm saying that use the super user right or the super user privileges to what? Install an application. So the package manager is called apt. All right. So I'm saying apt install, and then I'll see. Nginx. All right, and then press enter. Yes. So I'll just press Y, and then Nginx is being installed. So I just have to wait for it to finish installing, and then now it is installed. Now that I've installed Nginx, let me go back to the web server here. They are the same IP address, all right, and then refresh. As you can see, it has opened a web page for me. All right. So this, the Nginx, the server that I installed, is what is allowing me to be able to use the virtual machine as a website or use it to host a website. So now that we have the server installed, all we have left to do is to copy our website files, all right, and then put it in a directory. So this one is saved in this directory. I think so. I'll just let me just switch permanently to the super user. So you do that by doing sudo I, and as you can see, the dollar has changed to what? Hash. All right. So this is the super user, and then I will do cd var var www html. Good. So if I do ls, so this is where this right, this one here, this file is what is containing the website. Now, if I view the content, so cat is just saying that view the content, all right, of this file, and I press enter. What did you see? You see, this is what welcome to Nginx. If you see this page,
Sure.
the Nginx web server is successfully installed and working. Further configuration is required. For online, blah, 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 please refer to. This is the same thing being displayed here.
Okay.
So this is the file hosting our website content, all right? Or the directory hosting our website content. This one, HTML. So I can just come and delete this, all right, and then replace it with another folder, or I can delete the content in this file, all right? I can delete the content in this file, or just delete this file and replace it with another index.html file, and then I should be good. My website will still be what? Displayed for me. So this is what we are coming to do. And I added a link to download web template. This site is called Two-Plate. Because I don't have any websites file written now, I just want to. So let me just use this. This is a random selection. All right, you can select any of these. So I'll copy this. Okay. What I want is the link, the download. I want the download link. Good. So download, but I will give me a moment. I will view the developer tools. Good. I'll go to network and no, sorry. This one will automatically download it. I don't want it this way. What I want is the download link. So I'll use this one. Okay. So if I press on the download link, I need the download link for this one. So I need this one, this link. All right. You normally when you do copy link address like this, it wouldn't give you to the file directly. It will still send you to this page, but I don't want this one. I want the one that comes with the file like this. It's a zip file. All right. And I don't want to
Okay.
yes, I don't want to download it to my local PC and then copy it to the server. I just want to directly download it on the server. All right. So
Oh,
that's
okay. Because I
that
was
is
going to ask you, why not click on download?
because here it will be on my local PC and then I have to enter another command to copy the files from my local PC to that. But I don't want to go through that whole process. All right. So I can do this and then I'll just do this and then now copy this link. Good. So if I paste it here, so you see this one has what? The file dot zip. Okay. So this is what I want. So I'll come to the server here and then I will just there's a command used to download web content. It's called curl, or another command is wget. All right. So web get. All right. So web get. But I like to use the curl and then I'll paste the link here. That is just it. And I press enter. Okay, so it said I should use output to tell Kel to output it to your terminal in any way. Or consider output. Okay, that's fine. So I'll just bring the whole command again and then I'll just add this output and then the file should be barrister.zip. All right, press enter. So it's downloaded. So if I do ls now, I should have two files. All right. So this is the same web content. So please watch here. All right. How this page looks like. After I'll extract it and then put it in the same directory. And then I should have the same website when I come to this web address. Yeah. So I'll have to unzip this file. So I'll just do unzip barrister. Okay, unzip not found. So I have to install the unzip application. So I'll do sudo apt install unzip. Press enter. Okay, good. And then I'll do unzip barrister. Okay. And then press enter. Okay, so the files has been unzipped. Let me do ls. So as you can see, it has unzipped this file, and then the content of this file is what is here. Okay. So let me clear the
So do you
screen.
always have to install them as an administrator before you unzip,
Yes, you have to.
or it depends?
No, I didn't have the unzip utility. It's just like WinRAR. Do you know WinRAR?
Yeah, I know.
So it's just like I didn't have an application that will unzip, extract the content of a zip file. So I had to install the unzip software. So it's just like me installing WinRAR to use it to extract the content of a zip file.
No, okay. Before you can run the setup, if
Uh,
I get it.
yeah, before I can unzip the content. Yeah. So that was what I did. So now it has been unzipped. So if I do ls, as you can see, I have a directory here, the zip file here, and then this file. All right. So what I'm going to do is that let me do cd 217 this, and then if I do ls, you see, this is the content of the website. So what I'm doing is that I am going to copy this content, all right, this one, and then place it in this HTML directory. Do you understand? Now the
After
files,
you have unzipped,
yes,
yeah,
after I've unzipped it.
zip, and then it is now showing the individual files. Yeah, now you're
Aha,
going to copy.
yes. I'm now going to
Okay. Why?
copy.
Why?
Yes, because the Nginx server only recognizes files in this HTML directory.
Okay.
So I have to take it from here, all right, and then put it here. Or even at this time, all right, what I can just do is that I don't even have to copy it, right? I can just do this, all right. Let me have the name. This is good. You ask the question, Seth. Okay, so I can just copy this, and then this same thing, I'll do slash the name. of the file and then press enter.
Oh, okay.
But I don't want it this way. All right. I want the site to open immediately. I what? I open this address like this. I don't want to add the slash. All right. So normally that is how websites work, isn't it? If I go to jumia.com. So this is the main Jumia web page. All right. Now, if I click on supermarkets, you see, I have what?
Let me,
Jumia.com slash what? Groceries, isn't it?
yeah.
So it means that this entire page has its own directory somewhere. So, and if I go to any other, let me click on account and go to my account. It will open the sign-in page for me. You see? So you see, it opens a different page for me
Then
entirely. And
but they are all on the
yeah,
jumia.com.gh
yes,
part, and then the
yes,
other
they are.
parts are
Yes,
on
they
the.
are all on the main Jumia uh, directory, and then the other part has been segregated into folders. So this is exactly what is
So we
happening.
want to copy to the HTML so that it doesn't become like just go like the jumia.com.gh that's straight.
Exactly. That's basically exactly what I'm trying to do.
Okay.
So what I would do is that since I am in the directory, because I've CD into the directory, so as you can see here, this is the current directory that I am in. All right. So what I would do is I'll just do CP. So CP in Linux is copy. All right. So I'll do CP and I'll say everything. So in Linux or even in programming, when you do star, mhm, star means what? Everything. Now I want to recursively copy everything. So I'll add R flag. So R is recursive. So recursive means that copy this and any folder that is here, including folders or any other files in this folder. That is a recursive copy. All right. So copy everything here and then these folders here and their content in it as well. All right.
Okay.
So I'll do a recursive copy of everything in this directory. And then I'll just do space. What am I where am I putting it? I am putting it in what? The HTML directory. Now, if I want to put it in the HTML directory, I have to go back because I'm currently in what? The Barrister Cafe folder. All right. So I'll just do dot dot. So dot dot it means that go back. All right. Go back here like this. So that is basically what I have to do. If I press enter, I've copied that. So if I do cd dot dot, it means I'm going back one directory. All right. And I do ls, I should have the same files copied here. All right.
Okay.
Uh-huh. And then now let me delete. I want to delete this file. All right. This is the default file. I don't need it now. All right. I don't need it again. So I'll just do rm index.nginx. So rm is for remove. All right. And then press enter. So the
Okay.
file is removed. If I do ls again, you can see the index.nginx file is gone. Now, if I refresh this same page, all right, as you can see, it has now changed. So now I don't even have to add a slash. Okay. Now, I spoke about security groups. So let me go to the security groups. And then now let's play with what I was saying. So at the inbound rules, I'll edit inbound rules. Okay. And I'll delete this rule, the one that allows HTTP traffic, and then save. Now, if I should refresh again, it will take a very long time, and then it will tell me my server can't be reached. So you can see how it's taking a long time. As you can see, it's looping. Yeah, it's still looping. It will take a very long time because it will try to reach the server. All right, but now it is not because I don't have any security rule that says that allow HTTP traffic. Takes long though. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Because it has established a communication with it already, and then now I'm just trying to reach the same server, but it's not able to. So it will take a very long time, and it will tell me the server can't be reached.
So
Let's
more
still
or
wait.
less like it's looking for it.
Yes.
Going through all
Ah,
files to look for it or something. Okay.
exactly. So as you can see, the site can't be reached. All right. Now, while at it, let me go and then also delete the rule that allow SSH. All right. So let me edit this and then delete this one as well. Save. Okay. So now I don't have any rule, right? So it means that, you see, now I'm typing, but I'm not, you see, I'm not able to type, as you can see.
You are typing there, but nothing
Yes,
is showing.
yes, I'm really typing, but nothing is showing. So it means that my connection has been what? Terminated. Okay. My connection has been terminated. As you can see, disconnect, connection reset by peer. Now let me enter the same command to connect and see. Okay. It won't connect me. So as you can see, on a normal, I'm supposed to like connect. Immediately I press enter, it's supposed to just connect me. But as you can see, uh I'm not able to see connect to host. Connection what? Timeout. And it is going to be like that. All right. Anytime I try to connect, it will time out like that. All right. And then now, so let me go back and then add the inbound rules. And then let me just allow HTTP. I'm not allowing SSH. All right. I just want to show you the difference between this traffic. So anywhere, I'm allowing HTTP from anywhere. Save. Are you by your PC?
Yeah, I'm actually using it.
Okay. So what I would do is that, so now let me refresh. Immediately I refresh, as you can see, I've connected. All right. Now let me even show you how secure this is. Now let me edit this inbound rule. All right. I'll delete this. I'll add it again and I'll say that only allow HTTP traffic from my IP. Okay, so this one is only going to allow me, only me, all right, only my IP address. So this is my IP address, my local machine's IP address, all right, to connect to this
Just
website.
your machine.
Correct. So let me copy this for you. I'll put it in the
Okay.
chat. Mm. Just click on this and see if you'll be able to access their website.
Shows blank.
Is it opening?
Oh, just 10 itself.
Yes. So it will tell you the website can't be.
Can I keep what? Nothing is even appearing. No.
Good. So, so this is how. So it means that you can actually like we can prevent people from accessing your website. All right. That is how it works. So you can play with the IP address and then everything. That is why some countries there are some websites in some countries you can't access it from Ghana here. All
Yeah,
right.
it should tell you are not what is it?
You are not
It's not allowed in
authorized.
your country.
It is not
They
allowed in
have
your
some
country.
expressions they use.
So
Even Play
this
Store, there are certain things that when you download, they tell us it's not available in your country.
country exactly. So these are the technologies that are behind it. So now let me just go into the security group. I'll edit the rule, right? And then best practice, you don't edit an existing rule. Just delete it and then add a new one. All right. So HTTP, and this time I'll allow it from anywhere and then save. Now check. Just refresh. You should be able to connect.
Okay, let me.
Has it?
So first one says site cannot be reached. It is not coming. The second one, so-
It's still turning.
yeah, it is,
Okay.
but it's
Check.
just showing small. It's not loading as fast as well.
Okay. Check the address bar. Yeah. Let me show you
Yeah,
something. You see on the address bar. Can
yeah.
you see my screen?
I'm looking at it.
Yeah. So on the address bar, click on the link and then see if there is HTTPS there. Just clean the S and then press enter again.
The address bar.
Yeah.
The address bar. I don't know what has to do with my network. Is just showing the IP numbers. If I'm correct, the
Yeah.
52.90 point that and stuff.
Yeah, but click on
That is what.
it. Yeah, you click on there. Click on the IP address.
Okay.
Uh-huh. It has selected them, right?
Yes.
No. So click on it. Click again.
The 52.90 and the
Yes.
numbers.
So when you click on it like this, so what you watch my screen.
Okay.
So when you click, it is going to select it, right? Like this.
Yes.
Can
Yeah.
you see? And then you click
Yeah.
again. It will open the full address and you should see HTTPS. Clean the S and then press enter. It should work now.
This I liked it.
Mhm.
Click on it again.
Mhm.
And I'm still getting the numbers.
It's just the numbers.
Just the numbers. Kuna,
Uh,
leave me
uh,
alone.
and then you should be able to connect now because I've actually allowed it anywhere, everywhere.
Okay. I don't know where it has to do with the network or something. What's it?
But it should open. Okay, let me try with another browser and see.
Worry.
Okay, and then this. So I'm opening it on another browser,
Okay.
and then
I'm using Chrome by the way. Okay, I think you're probably using Chrome.
it's also Chrome. As you can, so you see, it has opened.
Oh, then, yeah, then it has to do from my end
Uh,
because it is really like what you are showing here 52.90. It's the same thing I'm showing there. But
yeah,
showing you the knife.
and then when you yeah, do you have the not secure there like this?
No, so, like with a triangle. No, nothing. There's no
Yeah,
precision
so
point
it's
like
still
that.
opening in HTTP. Okay, so let me show you what to do because since we are only allowing HTTP traffic, when you visit it with HTTPS, it will not come.
Okay.
It will not come because we are only allowing HTTP traffic. So click on the number like this, okay, and then send the cursor uh like to the beginning of the text, and then just do HTTP. All right. So you see how I pasted it in the chat. I think I pasted it like that.
There's in the chat.
Yeah. So when you
It's
just click,
HTTP.
when you when you click on it, it should open. But if it is not, you can just do this. All right. Click on it and then now do HTTP colon // and then press enter. It
Okay,
should
let me try that.
it should
If it
you
doesn't
should
like view footage.
or let me just edit the inbound rule and then add HTTPS. Password HTTPS. As for the HTTPS, it will not work unless we have.
Jonah, leave me. HTTP colon take.
But it's the same laptop you are connected, right?
That's something I've been using.
Wow.
I am surprised.
This one, yeah. Let me
It's just 10 itself. I have no idea
let me
why.
use my phone and
Check the
show.
one in the link and see if it is as supposed to be. The one in the chat. The one you sent me in
Yeah.
the chat.
And yeah,
Is that how it's supposed to be? The one
yeah,
in the
that's
chat.
how it's supposed to be. Okay, use a different browser and let's see. Maybe you
Okay.
use your Edge or something. I've opened it on my phone and it's
Okay, I
okay.
think I've seen why it's not working. I have my script save active.
Ah, but you can use your phone. Just type the same address in the address bar. It will work.
Yeah, let me check it. My script save is missing. So, so I should use the HTTP
Yeah,
column double slash, right?
yeah,
That one.
yeah.
Right. 52.90.24.16. Should I add a 3 or just 0.16?
No, 0.163.
163. Because what I keep having in the browser is 16.
No, it should be 163.
That's come.
Uh-huh.
It was 16. In the chat, when you look at it,
uh,
it's highlighted blue all the way to the 16. The 3 is in black. So when you click on it, it is not part of the numbers that go there.
oh, how? Because I see all
I
in
don't,
blue.
I don't know. It's all the
Uh-huh.
way from the H to the 16 is blue. Then the 3 is black. So when you click on it, the 3
Ah,
is not part of the numbers that
oh,
go there.
okay. Yeah,
When
163.
I
Yeah.
added the 3, it's just yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's on.
Yeah, it should work. Exactly. So this is basically how websites are hosted. So so now let me add the SSH. So you see now I'm not able to connect. So I'm coming to add the SSH now. So I'll add rule and SSH. So I'll do it. So normally for security reasons, you have companies choose. So you don't have to allow, since it's a secure connection, you don't have to allow it anywhere like the HTTP, right? You have to allow it either
Okay.
from your IP or you use a custom IP address range. Yeah. But for this demo, I'll just leave it anywhere. Good. So now if I do this and then I'll do that, I should connect without issues. You see, I'm in now.
Okay.
Hmm. So this is basically how you host a website. All right.
This your basic is not really basic.
No, so
Ah,
it has to do with Linux, right? So what I'll do is I'll just set you up immediately after here on the code cloud, right? Then you enroll in the Linux course. I can in a week you should be okay because it's not plenty. For Linux, it's not plenty. It's just a 3 hours total in total course. All right. So that maybe I can give you from this week, for you to learn the Linux because moving forward, you are going to use like a lot of Linux commands. So I can just give you this week, probably to Saturday, so that
I
you
have to.
uh,
I have to.
so that you watch the
With this, I'm
videos
really
on
praying that we get over exams and this vacation thing, so I can really focus. It's
yeah,
not
yeah,
easy.
yeah. I think that will help. But when are you vacating?
When is that? Um, Exams end around 12th of July. Let's say by ending of July. Let's say
By end of July. End of
around
July.
of July. Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you don't mind, all right, so that in order not to even rush, if in order not to rush, no, yeah, we still have time. So maybe beginning, I mean, from next week, no, June will end next 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, in 2 weeks time.
Okay, in 2 weeks time, that's fine. Yes, so because I want to give you some time to actually like learn the Linux, because most of these commands now moving forward is just Linux commands that we are going to use. All right. So for you to also get to grasp these things, you have to learn the Linux so that when I type CD, you know what CD means. When I type LS, you know what LS means. When I do this, you know what this means. All right. And then we get back to the cloud, the whole cloud. Because moving forward is just practicals, 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 practicals.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah. So I mean,
I really, I really, yeah.
whichever way works for you, that would be okay.
You said, like you said, when you sign me up for it, I will just have to find with you now.
Yeah, yeah. So I'll
Just
yes,
have to
I'll
find like time, 30 minutes, 1 hour, then be doing small, 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 small
yeah,
like that.
yeah, yeah.
So I
That's
can
it.
get it done.
Yeah, sure. All right. So in the running notes, I've actually like attached for everything that we did here. I've attached the YouTube video. That also takes step by step, takes you step by step into the procedure. So I think you can also use that. You don't have to do this now, all right, because you have to understand before you can, or you can just do it side by side. And when you finish, please, this one, when you finish, come here, select the instance like this. All right, right click or go to instance state and then click on terminate instance to delete the instance. Because
When I'm done creating it, I have to delete it.
yes, when you are done creating it and then you are able to test the website and then it's working, just delete it. All right.
Like testing like the one we use right now.
So just like this, you visit the IP and then you know that the website is working. Then you come here and then terminate it. Okay. Don't leave it on. If not, you'll be surprised.
Eh,
Yeah, I mean, you are charged per hour. So if you exceed the free tier hour, then everything you now pay for everything. You understand? So
yeah.
the longer it runs, the more you pay. Uh-huh. So you
Okay.
can,
Oh,
you terminate it this way, and then you are good to go.
okay.
Yeah.
That's good. Please, just I don't know if you still have it. The last one, the last session we had.
Yeah,
Uh, yes, I don't know if you can check for me if you have the video or something, because
yeah,
it really helps.
yeah. Sure, sure, sure.
I think
I'll check and
you
see.
have this and upload it for me in addition to this one.
All right.
By the same YouTube channel, right? Like
Yeah,
the one that bears your name.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's the same channel.
Okay. 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 So can if you find it, just add it to like this one and then upload for me.
All right. Sure, sure, sure. All right.
It really helps. Yes,
Okay.
and then about my wife's own. When are we actually starting? She
Uh,
kind of asked me.
a new cohort will start in July.
July.
Yeah, July. So,
Is this similar to what we are doing or quite different?
well, so for your wife's own, we are going to do Linux as part of it, as part of the learning. Yeah. So that is the difference. We'll add Linux. So we do Linux. You start with Cloud Foundations. We'll pause with Cloud, and then we'll go and do Linux. Get to understand the Linux commands, and then we come back to cloud.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. But it's very rigorous. So I think this is just a word I have to pass before she starts. It needs,
That one, eh?
yes, it's very rigorous. It needs like a lot of time and dedication. Morning class, your lessons, the morning lessons will start from 8:30 to 11 in the morning, and then afternoon sessions 1:30 to 4 p.m. After every day, there are quizzes to take. You have to do quizzes. Maybe your instructors
Every
will,
day.
yes, every day. There are
So we do the
quizzes.
8:30 to 11, 1 to 4, and at the
Yeah,
end of the day to do quiz.
yes, they will give you a quiz to do. But the quizzes are normally 5 questions. And then maybe the instructor will also give an assignment. All right. Sometimes group assignment, sometimes individual assignment. So it's like you need to commit. That is one thing. So that is
Wow.
so that is something for her to psych herself.
Well, she'll have to be ready for it.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But so far, per your, as being an instructor, how do you think we are faring compared to other classes you've done and stuff?
So this especially for your wife's own, because it's a sponsored program, right? We train them, we train them for exams, right? Because it's sponsored, the company is buying your exam voucher for you, and then all of that. So what I do as for my learners is that I tell them that for now, grasp just the basic foundations of most of the things that we are doing, and then focus on the cloud because we are going to examine the Linux. We are going to train them on Linux. We are going to train them on database. All right, but those things will not be examined. So we don't even normally touch them into deep. We just scratch the surface and then move on. Scratch the surface and move on because we focus solely on the AWS stuff, right? The cloud stuff because that is what they are going to write exam on. Then after that, they will have to now come in. They have to sit down and then learn on their own to gain their practical skills. So most of the times, you not even get this one that I did on it with you on the session. I think I can stop the recording now so that it doesn't prolong the. I mean, it doesn't make the video size huge.